so we'll start off with Wave of Kindness as usual. So I'm going to invite up Barb and Eddie.
And for the month of October, we had 2 waves of kindness, and they're both in the dietary department.
Good.
All right. So we had 2. The first one, I'm going to read this for Matthew. He's a little shy. So Matthew is such a hard worker, hard and consistent worker, both in his time here at Mason Pointe and with his services. He is cursive is something else. He's consistently on the move. He knows the residents and in their routines. My mom can't remember many faces. Hold on, Barb, you might have to help me with this one.
My mom can't remember many faces, but she does remember Matthew's. She may not always remember his name, but I'm grateful she knows his face and his kindness. I wanted to recognize Matthew for a long time. I hope he knows how much his smile and greetings mean.
All right, the next one, oh, you made it. The next one is for Madison, Charles, and Jesse. Bear with me. These 3 people were extraordinarily gracious to was extraordinarily gracious to me, my 2 sons, daughter-in-law, and 3 grandchildren, boys, 5, 10, 8, and 6. Oh, sorry, 10, 8, and 6. On a busy Saturday evening, the service and food were outstanding, and they made my family and me so happy.
All right, thank you guys. Next, I wanted to just share an announcement. I don't know if you've seen this come across the screens throughout the building, but I didn't want to forget to invite you to happy hour today. We're going to be hosting a happy hour starting at 5:15 today. Where the LSS Board of Directors rotates their meeting locations, and Mason Pointe is the site tonight. And so at 5:15 in the pub, Michelle's team is planning that. I think, what's the plan, Michelle? We're going to have some hors d'oeuvres?
One seat in the house.
Some light hors d'oeuvres and beer and wine. So if you're available at 5:15, we'll be hosting that down in the pub today. All right, so for today's agenda, we already did the Wave of Kindness. We're going to move into committee updates next. And then I'm going to go through some of the hot topics, starting with Laclede Groves. I think a lot of you probably saw that on the news yesterday, so I'm going to tell you what I know, what happened there. I'm going to give you some updates on recycling, talk briefly about workforce changes. We're going to give you a construction update. People have been asking about the assisted living construction. And then actually, before I do that, I'm going to do this last bullet now. I want to introduce you to our new lead chaplain at Mason Pointe. Chaplain David Corson is with us today.
That's all I get. I'm 4 hours old and that's it? Come on, let's put those hands together. Yeah. I am the chaplain here, the lead chaplain, if you want to call it. Corinne is here. Joel will be here for a couple days. He's helping out, helping me to on board. If you want to get a hold of me, you can call my desk, but I don't know what the number is. And it seems like you just start punching numbers and it'll go to my desk. So I don't know. We'll find out.
It's the same number as it was before for the chaplain.
Okay, so that's the number. You can also email me at david.corson, C-O-R-S-O-N, at lssliving.org if you need to get a hold of me. I'm back there in the corner. Corinne's on the other side. You can pop in anytime. We love to see you. And if I see you and I just kind of give you that thing, I recognize your face, but I don't have your name in my head yet, because there's a lot of you. There's a lot of you. So I am working on it. I promise I am working on it. One of my goals is to have a couple town meetings where you guys can sit here and you can say, Chaplain David, tell me about Gaius Maniscoticum. You want to know about that? Tell me about you. Tell me what's going on. So yes, we're going to get to know each other. I plan to be here for a long time. We are having my first official worship service will be Wednesday on the other side. So you're welcome to that. And if you have questions, please ask me. You know, and I know there's a lot of, I've already got a ton of questions. So, and from these guys too over here, by the way. So ask me. I'm happy to answer, and I'm happy to have a conversation. All right? God's blessings. It's good to be here, and I'm thankful to be part of this team.
Did you mention you were from Lickley Groves too?
No, I did not.
Just to share, Chaplain, he's not new to LSS. He's been at Lickley Groves for
4.5 years.
4.5 years. So we're excited to have him now on our team. Welcome.
Yep. I'm bringing stuff from there, and I'm taking stuff that I didn't use. We're throwing it away. We're recreating this life we call here. Okay?
Thank you, Chaplain. And we'll get his information in Touchdown too, so he can tell you a little bit more about his personal background, his family, and also the email and phone number, of course, will be in that. So Barb is going to lead us into our next topic, which is the standard committee updates.
Building and grounds.
Thanks, Barb. And good morning to all of you. Good morning. Building and Grounds last met on November the 2nd, so this is kind of old news, at least for some. The function of Building and Grounds, which I like to hit each month. Our job is to identify and develop things that will enhance safety of the site, reduce costs, improve living experience here at Mason Pointe. We aren't the decision makers in the final analysis. That belongs to Drew and to LSS, but we can generate ideas. And your committee rep on the first floor, Norm Loeb and Ron Hartzman. Second floor is Bob Bechtold and Gary Nielsen. On the third floor is Ed Teeter and myself. Don't be bashful about talking to those folks about ideas that you may have, you think ought to be looked at, because we can certainly initiate exploration. A few of the highlights of our last meeting, lighting in the public bathrooms is now on our own circuit. We're waiting on timer installation for the general lighting, be about a 1/3 reduction when we get that. Sauna parts arrived. Unfortunately, part of them were damaged, so we had to reorder. Drew was thinking that we construct in November, December with availability sometime perhaps in mid to late January. That's now pushed back because we don't have the parts. In the pool locker room showers, we spotted there are two shower units in each of the two locker rooms. One has a full set of safety bars and one does not. And so we're trying to figure out how to put safety bars in the one that doesn't. First thought is just put them on a wall. And structurally, we don't think the wall's strong enough to do that, so we've got to invent something else. We've had some sewer blockage issues in the site over the last month, so be sure that what you flush is flushable. Decision's been made on electric vehicles in the garage. In the garage is okay, but charging is not. So charging would have to be done outside, and LSS is looking at what does a charging station cost, and what does the electric cost to charge the vehicle. And as we get that finished, we'll communicate further. Insect control, I think, continues to be an issue, and we don't have a solution for that. I think my counsel to those of you that are struggling with that is to be sure you've got a maintenance work order in place, and be knocking on Tim's door, because that has to be done through the maintenance group. The work order system provides visibility. You put that in, it's there, it doesn't go away, and so it's easy to follow whether you're making any progress or not. And I think that's all the comments Building Grounds needs to make. Questions or comments? Way in the back, thank you.
Johnny, how many electric cars are there here?
There are no electric cars at present, but we need to be in a position when somebody decides that they're going to have an electric car, that we're ready to receive that. We have only hybrids presently. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Employee appreciation?
This is the last time you'll see me up here. But I want to, on behalf of the Employee Appreciation Committee, I want to say thank you to all of you who have given so far. Today, you know, back in first part of October, I said the 27th of November would be the last day we could give. And here it is, it's November 27th. So if you would like to give and you haven't, your gifts, Becky will be here briefly after this meeting. You'll have to run to her office to catch her. So thank you again, and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
The Food Committee.
Morning. Coffee machines, the perennial problem. So, we've been told that they've been repaired, that the beeping on the second floor, which has caused so much aggravation for everybody, has been fixed. If things don't remain working, then they will go to the next level, which is to get a new machine. Regarding special events, before I leave coffee, please continue to bring your own cup for coffee and juice. Things are getting better, but if you bring your own, then you won't worry about finding there's nothing to put your drink in. Special events, we wanted to make sure that you understand for special events like the coming Christmas party on the 21st, if you have particular dietary restrictions that need to be made, we don't want you to avoid a party just because of that. So if you will let food service know in advance, they will accommodate whatever your need is. So please keep that in mind. Also, you can always order off the regular menu, no salt, no spices, no sauces, if that's what you're interested in. And that's what you need. Also grilled rather than fried or baked. So there are options if you have special needs in your diet. And on this same issue, a number of people have asked for a nutritionist, and there was a speaker that we had here recently on that, and there should be the video is available for viewing on Touchtown if you missed that. But we want to remind you that 40 West Simone's and the pub are restaurants. If you go to a restaurant, you don't have a nutritionist there to help you choose your menu. So you need to do your own research and make your own choices based on what you feel your needs are. And with the new menu will be coming out sometime in February, there will be additional, more healthy choices on that for you also. So keep that in mind. Because the holiday eves fall on Sunday, there will be a brunch for Christmas Eve and also one for Christmas Day, one for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The times are different on those days, and the menus will be different. One will be a brunch, breakfasty brunch kind of thing, another one will be more of a lunch dinner sort of thing. Those menus will be, and the times, I'm not going to give you the times now because no one's going to remember that anyway. So all that information will be coming out to you soon. Please remember you need to make a reservation for any of these. I mean, you won't be turned away, but a reservation helps them plan how many meals they'll need to make, and if you've got large groups of family coming in, they need to know that for seating. The committee also talked about and sort of reviewed this year with Simone's and with the pizza Saturday nights. And so we're asking you as a committee to please give us your feedback to your neighborhood reps on those two items, as we're looking forward to making some changes or improvements or whatever in '24. And that's all I have to say, unless there's a question. Okay.
Lifestyle enrichment.
Thank you. Should we go up where we can be taller?
I know.
Maybe I'll go first today, and I will add that after we're finished, Denise has a word she would like to say about resident-led event. So first of all, I hope that most of you were able to enjoy many of the wonderful programs we had in November. If you haven't already seen it and read your Gazette, a lot of you ask about what happened to Jerry Chang, the young pianist who was here with us. He did very well in the state piano competition, and he will now be in the West Central Division, which includes 8 states. So that's quite a feat. And I know that we will all be pulling for him. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but I'll be in touch with his teacher and let you know. Then last week, if you missed the hammered dulcimer, you missed it. Oh my goodness. Mickey Sweeney was so amazing. I sat up here and I honestly thought, I think we're in heaven now. It was so beautiful, and I hope that Mickey will come back. We have a very full slate of all kinds of things coming into November. They're in the Gazette and on the red sheet, but in case you haven't read those, let me remind you, November 29th, down the road, our Westminster Choir Group will be back with us. November 30th, Big Muddy Dance Company returns to us. December 5th, a sing-along with Suzanne in the club room. December 6th, carolers from stages. December 7th, City Voices. December 12th, sing along with Suzanne. This is going to be Christmas music. December 14th, our choir Christmas program. December 15th, Rebellion Handbells return. December 19th, sing along with Suzanne, Santa, Mrs. Santa, Elf and the Kids. December 22nd, Meridian Clarinet Quartet, and December 24th, Tom Lawrence. If you were counting, that's 11 wonderful music programs we're offering. I've always thought of December as the music month, and I'm sorry, Nancy, when I said, we don't have much music. We really do. So I hope that you've enjoyed what we've had and appreciate what we have at Mason Pointe. Your turn, Mary.
Okay, thanks, Vi. Did everybody get the red sheet?
Yeah.
And I know everybody's looked at it.
Yes.
And you've memorized it. Thanks, Royce. The trip levels. You know, you might want to take a look at the trip levels so you feel comfortable when you do sign up that it's something that will be comfortable for you to go on. 2 trips. tour of Jefferson Barracks and Civil War Museum, and lunch at Cafe Telegraph. The Civil War Museum is really adjacent to Jefferson Barracks. Maybe some of you have been there. Hank and I have been there. It's very worthwhile, and I think you'll enjoy that. And Cafe Telegraph is right up Telegraph Road, very close to the barracks. Also, holiday brass tickets at Manchester Methodist Church. Also, there's going to be an Illumination Ministry puppet show on Saturday, December 9th at 1 o'clock. So look at your newsletter, look at your red sheets so you can keep up with everything, because like Vi said, there's a lot going on. Thank you.
And
thank you. I just wanted to announce that we are going to have a New Year's Eve party, and it will be in the pub and game room. And again, we will ask you to bring an appetizer to share and a drink of your choice for the evening. And guess what? We're going to have Gus for 2 hours this time, so we can just dance the night away. So anyway, I want you to put that on your calendar and remember to, and we're going to have it on Touchtown. And you can all come, but we need to know for numbers for tables for Madison. So if you'll sign up when it'll go on the latter part of this week. So if you'll just sign up so that we know how many tables to set up and that kind of thing. We'll appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you there. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone. I just want to mention a ceramics pop-up sale that we will be having tomorrow during our Taco Tuesday in the club room. So it'll be behind the club room. And these are the holiday gift items that were prepared by Ceramics. We had a little pop-up sale a couple weeks ago, and you guys got to check out some of these items. They're gorgeous. And so bring your change, bring your money to Taco Tuesday for some of those items. And then we were talking about maybe extending that into Wednesday when we have a jewelry sale as well. Thanks.
The Wellness Committee?
Thank you. So Joyce wanted to move this over to me. So first of all, we have the Parkinson's support group, and Beth is going to elaborate.
Okay, so it's been suggested to have a Parkinson's support group, which would create an opportunity for residents to learn more about the disease and plan for future needs. All residents are invited to attend the group, not only those troubled by the disease, but also those interested in symptoms to look for. The first meeting will be December 5th at 11 a.m. in the movie theater. That will be an organizational meeting to determine what the needs of the group are and to pick a resident to help head the group up with myself and help facilitate some of the meetings.
Okay. Thank you. The improv class will be December 7th and December 21st. That's 11 o'clock in the club room. The JB Christmas Walk, I guess JB is John Bruno, will be at Frontenac, December 14th, 10 o'clock in the mail room. Caregivers Christmas Luncheon, the 15th in Simone's. Guided meditation, December 4th and 18th at 1:30 in the theater. Diabetes support group is, okay, it is in December the 28th, 7 o'clock, second floor meeting room. And 21st Day Wellness Challenge, that will be in January. So after we've eaten a lot and done a lot of stuff that maybe we shouldn't, then Beth will get us all in shape January 9th of 24.
The Hook and Needle Club. This is a great day, but all days are pretty great here. We at Hook and Needle have had quite a year. Last year we donated $7,000 to the Employee Appreciation Fund. This year we have just finished our last donation to bring our total to $7,500 this year. Why does this work? This works because of all of you. and I'm not going to mention any names because there's too many and I might forget one. You care about the staff, you want to help, and you're very generous. We have very talented residents that excel in making items for the shop. The items we receive as donations are too many to mention, and I don't want to miss a name or a donation. You know who you are, and we are thankful for your support. In addition to the $7,500 we contributed this year, we also support the residents of assisted living, the care center, and memory care with donations of clothing protectors that we make, and memory care with donations of blankets and other donations that we receive that we feel they might like to have or to use. We've also supported other nonprofits outside of Mason Pointe with donations that they needed for their groups, and we were fortunate to have excess and happy to help them and give them things in their time of need. At the present time, our shop is getting ready for Christmas. Please stop by and see all our items. Again, we are very grateful for all of your support. You all make this work, and we appreciate it. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can see one of us at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Library Club.
Hi. Your library committee did a major overhaul of our library last month and pitched a lot of books, donated a lot of books. We donated a lot of books. And we have made some changes. We now have all the military history on the second floor. And the books are organized, it's not on. It's organized by war. So World War I, World War II, Vietnam. And we have moved all the Jan Karen books up on the third floor so that if you like that Mitford series, all the books are there together. We've added an additional fiction section on the third floor and expanded the biography and military history and fiction sections on the second floor. So if you're looking for a book, this is all in the Gazette. If you're looking for a book that you know you saw on the second floor and it's not there, it may be on the third floor now. So you have to take a ride upstairs. And we will be decorating both the second and third floor libraries for Christmas this afternoon. So for new residents, if you have small Christmas items that you packed and that now you realize you have too much stuff, if you would like to donate it to Mason Pointe for further decorating in the library, we will be on the second and third floor this afternoon. So thank you.
And one last little thing, activity signups will be today at 1:45 in the mail room.
Veterans Committee? Veterans Club?
Just quickly, the next Veterans meeting and the last one of 2023 will be this coming Monday, December the 4th. And speaking will be Fabian Grabsky. He's Deputy Director of the Health Center, and he will cover extensively the VA in St. Louis in terms of organization, priorities, and veterans benefits. And he will also cover, as part of that, the PAC Act, which is a fairly new veteran benefit. That's for those that were exposed to toxic substances, such as burn pits and so forth. So again, that's Monday, 9:30, December 4th, in this room. So please come, all residents are welcome. Thank you.
The Welcoming Club? Welcoming Club. And the workshop. Okay, think we're done. Sue, did you have something else?
Okay.
just want people to know, and for new people, that you realize we live in town and country. Even though our mail says Chesterfield, we have the same zip code, we're in town and country. And this can be important if you care about voting in '24. So you would need to have your new address on a driver's license. We did have, and I haven't checked, but we should have the new voter registration forms at the desk, at the concierge with Michelle. And then the last few times I have gotten absentee ballot forms, and so those will be coming at some point. We'll let you know about those. And if you have a disability, it's possible to be on the list, so you automatically get your absentee forms. So I want people to know that. And again, we live in town and country, not Chesterfield. And okay, then as far as ambulances, I've had many people say, you know, you call 911. And if you call from here, or probably if somebody calls from Missouri Baptist, that's in town and country. And that would be West County Fire and EMS. And you should not have a cost to that. Town and country municipality pays for that. Now, if you're at St. John's is in Creve Coeur. If you're at Luke's, St. Luke's is in Chesterfield. So I don't know who they call. That's up to them and you. But if you have calls from one of those hospitals outside of town and country, you may have a cost. But if you call 911 within town and country, you won't pay anything. You should get West County Fire and EMS. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Sue. Thank you, everybody. Any other comments before we get into today's scheduled topics? All right. So, maybe some of you woke up to the news yesterday to see that we had a fire over at Laclede Groves. Those of you that don't know, I think it was around 5 a.m. yesterday. They had a fire in one of their independent living apartments. And so I'm not sure what was reported on the news other than the fact that there was a fire. And so today I'm just going to run through and share with you what I do know. And that is that everybody that was impacted is safe and settled, maybe not in their current apartment, but either a hotel or another apartment at Laclede Groves. As you can imagine, the fire was contained to one apartment, but there was water damage, not only in that unit, but other units around it. So there was one resident that was taken to the hospital, treated for smoke inhalation, and told that they're doing very well. And so all in all, that's, you know, we feel very fortunate that everybody is okay. Obviously some people inconvenienced, but in a situation like that, it's about as good of an outcome as we could hope for. The fire did start inside a resident unit on the 3rd floor. And the fire department responded very quickly, was able to contain it. At this point, the cause of the fire is unknown. So I don't know if that's any more than what the news would have given you, but I wanted to give you at least what I know. So are there any questions anybody has on that? Barb?
It is a comment. Some people have asked about the response here, and I think that if we look at the response that took place by the fire department of Laclede Groves, it gives us an idea of what would be a response here if something like that would happen. And they had like 10 different fire departments with all sorts of equipment and people there, so that they were able to evacuate people quickly, and there was not a lot of risk. So I think that should be encouraging to us to know that in a facility like this, the response is is huge.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Any other comments or questions? If at some point, we've talked about it in the past, fire drills and such, we're happy to support and help facilitate those with residents. I think on Barb's point about EMS response time, I think what I've heard is between 5 and 7 minutes typically to get to our community here. So yeah, very quick, and if needed, obviously other jurisdictions you would assume get involved too. So, all right, any last comments on that? All right, the next one is about recycling. So you all probably had discussion in your neighborhood meetings about recycling. We've talked in previous months, and I think have largely agreed that what we're doing by having the recycling spread throughout the building is it's working okay in some areas. It's not working as well in others. And so your neighborhood representatives came to you last month and asked for your input. And the majority, and I don't have the counts on this slide, but I think every neighborhood, with the exception of one, the majority said they'd be in favor of doing something different in terms of recycling. And I mentioned it to you last month that it's not to be confused with eliminating recycling entirely. It's just going to be changing the way it looks. And so here's what our plan is. There is a room down on the west end of the garage. So there's a room as you're leaving the western garage. There's a room right to your left. And so what we're planning to do is put recycling bins in there. And all of our recycling, they don't separate it between the different items. So we're just going to have a large bin in there that all recycling can go into. Once that room is set up for this to go into effect, we will put out communication to you in writing with the details and maybe even a picture of where I'm talking about. And we will do that before we actually remove the recycling bins out of your trash rooms. So does that make sense? And so, yeah, the last point up here, the thing that I'll say is that, like anything, we try it and we see how it goes. Hopefully it goes better than we all agree that it's worked in the past, and we can always adjust in the future if needed. So, any comments or questions, Sue?
Will the large outdoor, great big recycling thing be taken away?
No, the plan currently, because that's what they pick up. I think you're talking about the recycling dumpster outside. That's actually what the company comes and collects.
But there was concern that individuals were leaving trash in there.
Yeah, there may be a need for us to secure it. We haven't gone to that step yet. If we continue to have issues even after changing the location, then that might be a next step that we look at. Yeah. Any other? Donna?
I saw somebody put dead plants in that.
Donna said she saw someone put dead plants in the recycling bin. So kind of, I think, supports what Sue was trying to say, that maybe we should think about securing that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? Nancy?
So if you don't want to recycle, then you just put everything in the trash, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you do not want to recycle, nobody's requiring you to recycle. You just put it in the trash. A reminder, please bag items up before you throw it down the trash chutes. But yes, if you're not interested in recycling, that's okay.
The people need to be sure that when they use the trash chute, that they close it all the way. Otherwise, if it's open on one floor, all the other floors are locked and you can't get your trash down the trash chute.
Yeah, so the comment that Barb made was, when you're throwing trash away, please make sure that you're making sure that the door is closed once you're completed. Because if if it doesn't latch, then it shows as open, and the other 2 floors would not be able to get into their trash door.
Large black cardboard boxes that we collapse, I don't believe they're gonna fit in the trash chute.
Yeah, so whenever we put out the communication in writing, I'll put detail like that in there. What I would anticipate, John, is that, I don't want to misspeak, but I would assume they'll continue to break down the boxes and leave them in the trash rooms, or call maintenance to pick them up. But we'll make sure we clarify that for you in the written communication that goes out, John, before these changes are made. What we want to avoid doing is having you go to the trash room one day and just seeing that they're gone. So we're gonna coordinate things and make sure we give you a heads up. Any other comments or questions on recycling? Going once? All right. All right, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the workforce changes. So normally I wouldn't comment as much as I have on the changes that we made recently. Because of the number of changes that were made is really the only reason that I put that out in writing. And so I wanted to address it again here today and just say that, you know, those changes, we understand that they're not easy for you as residents. They're not easy for our staff. They're not easy for me. They're not easy for anybody. Nobody wants to make changes like we had to make in the last month. And you know, there's a lot of work that's happening behind the scenes and planning to make sure that we are not disrupting resident services, and that relates to transportation. It relates to one of the changes that I did not share in that written communication is very soon our assisted living residents, and Julia is going to talk about this later, but they're going to be moving to this new area in the beginning of January. And so that door actually is going to move to a badge only entrance and exit. Now that could impact you all. That could impact a wide number of people. It impacts EMS who comes and visits our community. And so we're currently meeting and going through all those details to make sure that we don't miss anything. And I want you guys to know as residents, we're going to communicate to you all probably here within the next week if there are changes that you'll see, you know, that being one of them. That's something you'll want to know. You know, but normally I wouldn't have sent that out to you all as a resident group. Those are personnel decisions that there's a lot of planning involved with. It's planning beyond just here. It's planning organizationally, looking at what other communities do, looking at our budget. But again, just because the number of changes that were made is the reason that I shared that with you. I'm really not going to share much more detail today. I'm not going to get into back and forth dialogue on the changes. I understand that there's disappointment, especially regarding some of the individuals, and I share in that, and everybody shares in that. Nobody wants to make these changes. The reality is that we've got an obligation to always be looking at our business and making changes if we can do something more efficiently or differently. Wages continue to increase, and I think you're going to see us do something at LSS in January. Taxes are increasing. Every cost that really goes into what we do is increasing, and we understand that we can't always put that 100% on the backs of you all. Last year was a higher increase than we've ever made across LSS, and we're working so that when those go out this year that it's not at that level. And so I want to say this to you, that again, I understand some of you are upset, you're mad, you're angry for the individuals that were impacted, that you have a close relationship with. It had nothing to do with them. and it's not a decision that anybody delights in. Sometimes difficult decisions have to get made, and that's the role that I signed up for. So, any questions or comments?
I'd like to know, do the other LSS facilities, are they all undergoing this sort of a change as we are here at Mason Point, or specifically Mason Point?
So Vi's question is are there other communities going through similar changes? And the answer to that is yes. It's something that we go through every year. And it's all of you that have had, most of you in your careers, I would almost guarantee had an annual budget review where you look at ongoing expenses and you have to make difficult decisions. Sometimes it looks different in different communities. I'll say we had a little bit more this year because a lot of the people that were impacted relates to where we're going as a community. We have less skilled nursing now than we've ever had. Which has typically done more transportation, for instance, in the skilled nursing side because there's a lot of healthcare follow-up appointments. Sometimes it's position elimination, like happened here. Sometimes it's just open positions that you don't end up backfilling. And so I can't speak to the specifics of the other communities, but it's a combination of those two things happening. Dan?
I'd like to go back to recycling our trash. Newspapers should go in a plastic bag, go down the chute.
Dan's question is about newspapers, whether or not they should go in a plastic bag and go down the chute or go into the recycling bin. I assume we recycle newspapers, but I don't know. So newspapers can continue to go into the recycling bin if you want. If you choose not to, though, it can. Yes, but if you choose not to, you can throw it in the trash. Yeah. Jim?
You don't know the answer to what is recyclable and what is not. Is there anyone here at Mason Point who does know the answer to the question, is this specific item recyclable or not? Is there anyone here at Mason Point that knows the answer to that?
The question is there anybody here at Mason Point who knows the answer whether something is recyclable? And the answer to that is yes. There's also a really great handbook that I know, I don't know who all was involved with it. I know Bill Helms had a big role in it to help residents know what is recyclable and what's not with our vendor. In the communication that comes out to you about the changes with the recycling program, we plan to distribute that again, just to make sure that everybody has it. But if you don't know who it is, or if you don't know from reading that pamphlet, I would say Tim is the guy to call. Okay. What other comments or questions?
I'd like to know if there's any way we could possibly maintain Rich as a driver. He, by far, is the best driver that I've ridden with for 3 years here. He does things that no other driver does. I've had ridden with 2 other drivers in the last 3 weeks, and they never have said a word to me. They've never asked me to buckle up. They've never asked me if the temperature's all right on the bus. They don't stand and help people on and off the bus. We've had Beth and other people on the bus do it, but not the driver. And he is a kind, considerate, thoughtful, knows our names. And so the quality of his work is so good, I can't imagine why we would let him go and not the other people that I've had a chance to ride with.
Yeah, so I will not comment on individuals. What I'll tell you is that there's a process that we go through as an organization when these types of decisions are made. We go off seniority, we go off the time that they were hired, and we have a written procedure that goes all the way through our Vice President of Human Resources with the organization to make sure that we're not discriminating or picking out certain individuals. But I agree with all your comments about Rich. But no, it's a closed issue.
See,
The other
So-
drivers help when we're not there.
I'm sorry.
I think the other drivers do help when weight activity's not there. Like, I just jump in first, unloading the.
Yeah. Yeah, any other comments or questions? Carol?
If we still have recycling, and there was a problem with recyclable things going in the recycle that were not allowed by our collector, is that still gonna cost us the amount it did before?
Yeah, the question Carol has is if we continue to have issues with recycling, are we still going to get fined? And the answer is yes. And so we're not going to stop looking at it. If the fines would continue, we'll certainly let you know that. We're going to keep working at it. Maybe it's locking up the trash bins outside, or there could be other things that we need to consider. But yeah, we would continue to get fined. The hope is that in making this change, though, that doesn't happen. So we'll let you know. Other comments or questions? Betty, you look like you want to say something?
Yes, I just wonder myself, I'm not sometimes but do you look at my voice carries. Do you look at the people that you maintain and how they performed? Is there some kind of a way that you look at the people that were in the positions that you kept versus the ones that you got rid of over and above longevity?
Yeah.
Because, the Peter principle.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's part of the discussion. Yeah, that's part of the discussion.
That's not an answer.
Sure it is. It's part of the discussion.
We've heard that answer over and over and over and over.
That's the answer, Betty. Sorry you don't like it, but that is the answer.
Quality of work ought to be judged for.
Mr. Horstman?
Yeah, I suspect we may still have the same problems with recycling in this other games that we have along. I would make a suggestion that we restrict the recycling, say cans, glass, and cardboard, where you just limit it to certain items. Make it very clear that those are the items we will recycle.
Yeah, we'll continue to work on that, Mr. Horstman, making it as clear as possible. If we continue to have issues, maybe that's something that we do. We'll keep that in the toolbox. Other comments or questions?
We can track how well the lines go down for us.
Our accounts payable will track the fines, and we can report it out to you and let you know. Yeah, we're happy to do that. Other comments or questions? Ms. Small.
Many of the people who have independent help in their apartments don't ever get to these meetings. And I would think maybe some of the caregivers are the ones that don't understand the recycling is doing it, not us.
Yeah, it could be. That could be, Ms. Small. And so we'll see what happens here with this change to see if it positively impacts it or not. Agreed. Could be a number of factors. All right. Other comments or questions from anybody? Mary. Oh, bye. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to introduce you to Paul. And I know this is not a joyous topic to talk about for any of us, but this is a good man right here, and we got a lot of good people. This position is actually, I think this is the position I put in my update to you, the changes within housekeeping. And so Paul previously has been the housekeeping supervisor in our care center and assisted living. And Paul is now our manager of environmental services. and within his responsibility will be housekeeping for the entire community. So Paul is going to be taking over a lot of the responsibilities previously held by Suzanne, who is now going to be 100% focused in transportation. So please welcome Paul.
Thank you, everybody. Little background on myself. I attend Breeze Community Church in Illinois. I'm a father of 2. I have 4 grandchildren. As Drew said, I've been running the other side of the building. Some of you have seen me coming back and forth over here. I've worked with Suzanne and Barb for, probably over 20 years. We all work together and know each other. I do have one request, though. Unfortunately, Suzanne is sick, and she's going to be out at least the rest of the week. I don't have her schedule, so if any of y'all are down for any kind of special cleaning this week or next, I'll hang around after the meeting if you just come over and see me on the side so that we don't miss you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right, so here in a minute, I'm going to invite up Julia. Vi is going to get the mic before we go into that one. The last thing that I want to say is I know there's a lot of different feelings out there about this, and I'm not trying to come across like a jerk today or short or anything like that, but we could debate this topic until there's no end. There's things that we do, and I know there's people probably say, well, why don't they do this and this, and then we don't have to do that and that. We could do that all day long, and it's just not a healthy discussion for us to engage in. I just want you to know that nobody delights in having to make these decisions, and it is not an indictment on anybody that was impacted. And but we are working hard to make sure that it does not have a negative impact on any of the services that you have. It may be that we're just going to do them a little bit different than we had done them in the past. Okay? And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Bye.
I just want to say one closing comment, and I bet I'm going to speak for all of us. We are so blessed. This is the time of Thanksgiving that we live here and we have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vi. All right, so we're going to change topics now and give you an update on our assisted living construction. I'm going to invite up Julia Beekler, who's going to give you the highlights.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Everyone's going to give Drew a hug after this, right? Yeah. All right. AL Construction, so assisted living. Who has had the opportunity to walk over there and see it? It looks incredible, right? It looks so amazing. So we're really excited. We're nearing the end of phase 1. So we're nearing the end of phase 1. So what that means is that our existing residents who we love so much are going to be moving from our hillside, which is this building right over here. They're going to be moving into their brand new apartments starting the first week of January. And so that is our target right now, is that they are going to be moving the first week of January. And so like everything else, there is a amazing team working really, really hard to make this a super joyous, amazing experience for them. And so we're super excited to welcome them into their brand new homes starting the first week of January. We would love to have you guys come over and see the new digs, and so look for some information to be coming out about that, and we'll be offering tours for you to come over in December so that you can see some of the units, some of the new amenities that are opening in that phase 1. So super excited for you guys to come over and see that. And we are encouraging you. I've seen a lot of you, but if you want to come over and put your name on a wait list for one of the assisted living apartments, now is a good time to do that. Many of you have met with Annie Marks, but if you don't know Annie Marks, she is one of the most fabulous things here at Mason Pointe. Annie, stand up back there. There's Annie Marks back there. Her and I share an office right down the corridor here, so feel free to reach out to either one of us to schedule a tour, or if you just want to get some more information regarding our assisted living. But we definitely have a lot of really great apartments available to you all, some 2 bedrooms, we have studios, we have 1 bedrooms, we have it all for you. And then no new news from Town and Country. So we're still in a holding pattern regarding the IL expansion. So as soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. But otherwise, no new updates regarding the lawsuit with them. Any questions for me about assisted living or the care center? Did I see a hand? Yes. Oh, hi, Mrs. Dahl.
Sorry. What about phase 2?
Okay, yeah.
What's involved in phase 2?
Mm-hmm.
And where do you start and stuff like that?
Sure. So I'm going to try to say this as concisely as I can so it doesn't make it confusing. Right now, we're in the phase 1, we're doing that section of assisted living apartments, which I said will open in January. We're also completely renovating our long-term care floor, which is on the 3rd floor. That is completely renovated as well. So we have 2 neighborhoods that will be moving probably in March, February, March. Do not hold me to those dates, but that's what we have projected. The 2 other neighborhoods will be moving up into that long-term care neighborhood. That's going to be completely redone. Phase 2 will then begin, and those existing neighborhoods will get redone. How did I do? Confusing? So confusing. I could say the names of the neighborhood, but I feel like it would make it even worse, right? Okay. So phase 2 is coming, Mrs. Dahl. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? I take compliments. Yes.
We had a question over there.
Yes, sir.
I remember talking to marketing about availability of assisted living,
yes,
and whether or not we needed to sign up. And they said, no, we were automatically on the list. Now, has that changed and we need to go over and get our name on the list? I mean, who knows what day we'll be needing it? Could be tomorrow.
The reason I stood up is because Kelly asked me actually to come up and just clarify that one part. And so what Julia is saying is, we encourage you to make contact with Annie and get your name on the list to receive that phone call whenever we have a different unit become available, because we think it gives you a broader choice of floor plans. You can always say, no, we don't need it yet, but to stay on that list to receive that phone call. You do not have to be on the wait list. Whenever the need comes up, if you have an immediate need, you are first priority to get in there. Does that clarify that? Yep. Okay. Any other questions for Julia? Oh, yeah, Bob.
You probably answered this, and I'm sorry, I'm a little dense here this morning. Do we have any, what I still call nursing home care, or has that totally been eliminated?
No, we absolutely still do have skilled nursing care. How many beds? We will have approximately 50, a little bit over 50 beds right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You all are going to be well taken care of.
What is long-term care?
Okay. So this is a whole topic I could spend 6 hours on, but I'm going to make it really fast. Long-term care is also referred to as skilled nursing. That means that there is 24-hour care provided by nursing and by aides. So, and there's also med techs. So the nurses are there to provide your medication. They're there to provide assessment of your current condition. They may be providing some wound care. There's also a physician assigned to you that has to follow certain regulations on the frequency of visits and those type of things. But it basically in a nutshell is 24-hour care. You require 24-hour care.
What's the average extension of time for the person to live in that facility, average?
The question is, what's the average amount of time that someone would live in a skilled nursing community? I don't have that statistic off in the top of my brain, but I'd be happy to research that for you. Oh, Drew Women knows.
It's actually, for us, that number's been going down. It's actually less than 2 years now. Now, there's a wide variety. There's a wide range. We've got several in skilled nursing that go far beyond that, but on average, 2 years or less.
Are you trying to phase out the care center?
No, ma'am. No, there's going to be a need for skilled care. Yep.
I feel like we're planning and zoning. I want to reiterate, we are committed to providing you rehab and skilled nursing long-term care for the long term. We have no intention of getting out of that industry. We are going to do that. It's going to be there for you for the long term. We want to be able to offer more assisted living, though, because what we've heard from you and others in the community is that, number one, you'd rather stay in independent living and you'd rather bring help to you in independent living. But the next step would be assisted living. You want to know that that's there. And then you want to stay in assisted living as long as possible and delay. Nobody rushes to get into skilled nursing, right? And so that's why we're changing our model to offer less of that, and it's available for you as residents should you need it.
Thank you.
Nancy?
When all of this is completed, all the renos,
When all the renovation has been completed, how many care center beds will there be?
The question is, when the renovation is completed, how many care center beds will there be? We have 35 units in skilled nursing. We've got over 50 capacity, though, for 50 skilled nursing residents, if that makes sense. We think long-term, though, it'll be 35 private rooms. Ms. Matthews.
Is skilled nursing the same as memory care?
No, skilled nursing is different than memory care, and part of the construction is to have assisted living memory care now on campus. Skilled nursing, we serve residents also with memory support needs. It's just typically they have more physical needs as well too.
What we could do is maybe offer like a session where I come and break down which each level of living means. Because it's very confusing, it's a lot, but we've done that in the past and I'm happy to come back and do that again. What memory care is, what assisted living is, what's skilled nursing, what's memory care, assisted living. Yeah, I'll teach you guys the lingo. No problem.
And Annie would be happy to go to lunch with you too, just to sit down and talk. I mean, you know, sometimes that's better one-on-one, just to explains each individual situation. So, all right, thank you, Julia, for that. So we already did the chaplain introduction. One thing before we break up, I want to point out that the date for the December meeting, the December meeting would fall on Christmas. So I figure we probably don't want to do this meeting on Christmas. I'm sure you don't. I know I don't. So Thursday, December 28th at 11 a.m. It's Thursday that week. It's after time, but before we officially close, I will open it up for questions and answers if anybody wants to stick around and ask anything. Take that as a no. Thank you all.